on. Good evening, everyone. And I'm just going to get the stream started tonight with a little quote. It's a favourite of mine. Whoever fights monsters should see to it that in the process he does not become a monster. Gaze long enough into the abyss gazes back into you. Welcome, everybody, to a brand new adventure. My name is Sven.
Hello.
I am going to be your DM as we dive into the madness that is Out of the Abyss. Thank you for joining us. I cannot tell you how excited I am to finally be starting this campaign. I feel like I've been planning it for literally forever. But it's finally here.
A gazillion years.
And a fine group of adventurers have joined me, if I don't say so myself. How are you guys?
Terrific.
Good. Everyone
Slightly
had
terrified.
Slightly terrified. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear terrified.
I like
Terrified
that.
of the stream or terrified of what monsters I'm going to be throwing at you?
Oh, call A, call B,
All of it.
take a pick.
All of the above,
I
Your
think,
Honor.
I think we'll just have to play and find out which is worse. Now, I know that we all can't wait to dive in and get started because there's been a lot of hype. I've been hyping it up myself, and if we all know one thing, it's that I am my own best hype man. But there's just a couple of things that we've got to get out of the way first. All right. So, firstly, I want to say a big shout out to all the supporters of the channel. For starters, everyone who's joined us here in the chat, but also I want to say, thank you to the guys at Othic Gaming and Ando and everyone else. The guys from the Valiant Odyssey podcast for supporting us. Christian and his partner from Hermes D&D Services, who you might know from Amongst Shadows and Stones, big supporters of the channel. Froth's Minis, of course. Glenn Watkins and Benjamin Spirison. I think I might be butchering that name. God, I hope I'm not. Those are the two or three people rather who made tonight's little giveaway that we've got going on a reality. I want to say thank you to Gus Honeychurch, who made our awesome soundtrack, which you guys who are watching this live would have heard just before we went live. And of course, I want to say a huge shout out to Royce, George, and Tom, all of the guys from the Dungeon Ruse podcast. You guys are all amazing, and I thank you so much for your support. And of course, Fizz Cannon, Nathan, thank you guys as well for supporting me through this ridiculous thing that I've decided to do. Secondly, if you're wondering what the hell is Out of the Abyss, is that like some kind of video game? No, it's not. It's even better. See, Out of the Abyss is one of many official Dungeons & Dragons campaigns written for the D&D 5th edition for you nerds out there. A tabletop role-playing game, you may have heard of it. And I'm going to be taking the responsibilities of Dungeon Master or DM, and I'm going to be guiding these wonderful-looking people as they themselves guide their imaginary characters through whatever horrible scenarios that the Wizards of the Coast have written in this book. Everything that you see or hear tonight, for those people who are watching back on YouTube or listening on Spotify, is completely unscripted, improvised, as you will, so we might make some mistakes as we go along. I might make up some rules just to keep things going if things start to slow down a little bit. But what matters is we're all here to have fun, and hopefully we might entertain a couple of people along the way. Third, if you're joining us live on Twitch, then we thank you very much. We appreciate your support. But if for some reason you're not able to make it for the live stream, that's okay, because every episode will be uploaded to YouTube and Spotify. Now at around the halfway point of tonight's stream, we're going to be taking a quick break. So for those people watching live, I hope you can stick with us. For those people who are listening on Spotify or watching on YouTube, that halfway mark will mark the point at which I divide each stream in half, just to make the podcast a little bit more palatable. It can be intimidating when you see a 3-hour-long podcast. And that brings us to point number 4. If you haven't already heard, to celebrate tonight's launch of Out of the Abyss, we're going to be doing a giveaway. Basically, if you want to go into the draw to win some awesome prizes, please follow us on Twitch. leave a message in the chat with the hashtag out of the abyss, your favorite D&D monster. I do not qualify as a D&D monster because I'm not official Wizards of the Coast content. And we're going to be
You're hungry,
announcing
eh?
the winner live on episode 2. So make sure you catch that one and we'll get your details and do all that kind of stuff. And finally, if you've been watching any of my other streams or if you've seen any of them on YouTube or listened on Spotify, you know that I like to start my streams with a little bit of banter on the top. Lets everyone ease themselves into the right mind space, gives the viewers a little bit of an idea of who we are personally when we're not pretending to be other people. So, without further ado, I'm going to pass the ball over to the players with a little question. Who has any predictions for the campaign?
TPK level 1.
Straight off the bat, TPK level 1. Great.
Hey, I got my
that.
backup character ready to go, and he's going to be more of a pain than this guy is.
I got 3
Yeah,
ready.
same
just in case.
I get the feeling that someone may have seen my my Baldur's Gate stream. Hadrian, your thoughts on that?
On that campaign, or
On the almost TPK. We got.
oh, it's easily doable. Easily doable.
We got a few players thinking I'm going to TPK the whole party at level 1.
Oh, I
what are
think
your
having seen
predictions?
this campaign, as I said, I reckon, and just to keep them guessing, very possible. Very possible.
It's definitely a possibility.
If
not
If
gonna
you
lie.
play your cards wrong, like if you, yeah.
Yeah, in my experience, levels 1 to 3 is kind of the danger zone for most D&D characters. If you can get to level 4, you're probably gonna last a little bit longer.
Oh, if you want it, you'll get it.
Grace, what do you think? Predictions for the campaign can be anything.
Thanks, Spooky.
Long term, short term. What do you reckon?
Well, I mean, one thing is for certain, we are going to see a lot of rage. I think it is going to be the new moonbeam, hopefully, but I won't be killing myself. So
Are we talking about you raging or your
plus.
character raging?
that remains to be seen.
Bit of column A, bit of
But
column B,
probably a bit of both.
or that
Yeah.
taco ad. Why not both? The little
Well,
girl
yes, spoken or
why
los
not
dos.
both?
with the questionable
mean-
Mexican accent.
Yeah. Well, like, I mean, at the very least, we could get some keyboard throwing. But, I mean, who knows?
Well, I hope you
This
brought a
is
backup
Dungeons and
character and a
Dragons.
backup keyboard.
Well, the
Always.
chat's already encouraging you to TPK us at level 1, Sven, so this should be fun.
No!
Look, I have a certain reputation I've got to uphold, guys. I don't
and
want
it's
to
not
do
their-
it, but I'll do it. I promise, I will.
It's not their fault. They don't have to recreate a character, so of course they're like blood.
Believe it or not, I'm actually rooting for you guys. You guys are the stars of the show. I want to see you guys come out on top. But in order to make things as interesting as I can, not only for you guys, but for the people watching the stream or listening on YouTube, I've got to make sure that you're always on the nice edge, and that's why I actually picked this particular campaign. Remy, what do you reckon? Do you have any predictions for the campaign, given what you know?
Look, it's going to be a fun journey either way. I think there's a few difficult encounters that will happen and some new, some fun ones. But yeah, stressful moments until we hit level 4, or actually probably like level 6 to me because I'm squishy as.
1d4 anything damage, right?
Yeah, I sneeze the wrong way and I die. So like, it's,
Just no one fart in his general direction. You should be fine.
yeah.
What about you, Mark? Predictions apart from level 1 TPK? What do you got?
I know nothing about the campaign. Like, I haven't looked at it at all. So
What about just
Yeah,
from
I don't
the
really
artwork,
know.
the title of the campaign, the artwork that you have?
it's very like Cthulhian, however you're supposed to say that.
Cthulhu, yeah.
Yeah, like it's
Cthulhu? Yeah.
the Lovecraftian. That's the word I'm looking for.
Mm.
So I feel like we're going to be facing some nasties.
No, just standard commoners from now on.
Yep.
All speak in common.
Yep.
Just, this is
Increasingly more
actually-
angry.
This is a campaign in which you all sit down
Fair
and you
enough.
do make-believe taxes for 3 to 4 hours
Oh.
every fortnight.
Ah,
Did you
Oh.
carry the one?
So that's what you're in for, guys. Just taxes. Taxes for
Oh.
3 years straight, 4 hours, and not even the good kind of taxes that actually benefit you.
oh, no returns then.
No tax return. It's all bills. So the returns are make-believe, but the bills are in real life.
Oh, just all in debt.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like it's all doom and gloom from everyone.
I mean, I'm hopeful that we'll be able to somehow work together and survive it all. But
Oh, me too.
you know,
Oh, you guys. Yeah, you guys will.
Yeah, you'll be
Yeah.
fine. Don't worry about it. We're all having
Ah,
fun.
just
yeah?
believe.
Does anyone have anything else they want to say before we dive into this madness?
Yeah, we got this.
Yes.
Motivational speeches, or we're just gonna leave it with the fluorescent bunny ears and or
I
cat
mean,
ears,
not
should say.
really. I guess in the words of
Let's
SpongeBob,
do it.
I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready.
Spooky's called it death, taxes, and TPK.
Death, taxes, and TPK.
Yeah, cat
that is
ears
going
in honor
to be,
of Thrash.
that'll be the name of my autobiography, I believe. Death, taxes, and TPK. All right, let's just get
Oh,
into
but-
it. Let's stop
Dad keeps
talking.
opening
Let's
my
stop stalling. Let's stop delaying. Let's give the people what they want. Play a little
Yep.
bit of D&D.
Very
Um,
nice.
Alrighty. So I need to go to the correct screen here. Bear with me as
Yeah.
my internet is slowed down to a crawl.
Do we need to be paying attention to
Everything.
the tabletop now?
Every word and sentence.
Yes. So we're diving into it. We're getting started. We're getting this campaign on the road. So for those people joining us live, we're probably looking at going on a break at around about 9:30, maybe 11, something like that, which isn't actually that far away. About 9:30, 11, 9:30, 10:30, somewhere like that. So let's switch the scenes over to our very first scene of the campaign. Does that change over for you guys? Yep. Please,
Looks like it.
There we
Yep.
go. There we
Just
are.
making some adjustments so I can see chat. There we go.
Who wants to describe what they can see for the listeners on Spotify?
I can see stuff.
Can you see stuff?
Yeah, Jason.
I
Yeah.
can see myself in a
Well, I can
tent.
see that Toby is blown up like this.
You might just
My
need to
extra
zoom out a
chunky.
little bit.
Yeah.
I can see myself sitting out front of a pitched white tent in front of a campfire. There's a tent to the left of me with two guard-looking fellows in it, and there's also a tent to the right with one looking fellow in it, and then there's a guy further off past the campfire who appears to be guarding the area, and then off in between those two is a horse and cart, and a pretty desert-looking doom and gloom sort of landscape.
All right. Can I get you just to move your character over, just beside the fireplace there? Maybe on that tree stump, maybe on that chair. You know, sit yourself down wherever you want to sit yourself down.
Let's
Sit
go.
down this little box here.
Take that little box, sit on that piece of paper. Someone so precariously left lying around. And oh god, you're kidding me. And my notes have disappeared, which is always fun. So I'm going to be improvising this straight off the top of my head.
Oh no!
We open up. Oh wait, oh they've come back. I believe
Yes.
someone moved them and they've just come back. All right.
Yay!
There we go. I did memorize some of it, so that's right. Anyway, okay, we open up to a campfire. A lone figure sits by the fire, absent-mindedly poking at a stick, releasing a spray of glowing embers that are carried up into the sky by the heat of the flames. It's well and truly night time now, the last vestiges of sunlight having sunk below the surrounding hills some time ago. Perseus, you and your company have been on patrol just north of Baldur's Gate for some time now. Almost 4:10 day. Most of your comrades have retired early for the night, eager for the morning, as you're bound to return to Baldur's Gate for some much-needed R&R. The sound of loud snores from one of the nearby tents, ample evidence that your comrades in arms, fellow members of the Flaming Fist, have wasted no time at all drifting off. But sleep has been uneasy for you of late. Your dreams haunted more and more frequently by the sound of cracking thunder growing closer and closer with every passing night. You look back and you see Dalreus, who drew first watch sitting with his back to the fire some 10 feet away, and as you watch he leans forward, scratches his ass before he hocks and spits loudly on the ground next to him. What do you do?
I'll just give a sort of disgruntled ugh in his general direction, and then sort of hold up my right hand and just flex it and just try and make something happen, but nothing does. Just keep trying to just flex the hand and then kind of just look back at the tents and make sure sort of no one's paying attention to me, and just sort of keep flexing my hand.
That one. I need to take science. Alright, so you guys have been on patrol for a month now. Longer than a month. It's a relatively cold night tonight. Probably tired, probably over it. You've been having trouble getting sleep lately because your dreams have been haunted by this recurring dream, flashes of lightning, thunder, growing nearer and nearer every time you sleep. Everything seems to be serene. You can hear the chirping of crickets, maybe an owl hooting somewhere in the distance, as well as just the lulling sounds of the crackling campfire. You sit there momentarily, holding up your hands in a fist and concentrating, and nothing happens. You do it again, and nothing happens. You do it a third time, and you feel almost like the hairs on the back of your arm stand on end for you. And that's all you feel. What else?
Just sort of just do a quick sort of look around to make sure everyone's still asleep, and then kind of just kick some dirt towards the fire and stand up and kind of just idle my way over towards kind of Darius's back, and just kind of look out over kind of the horizon where he's kind of keeping his eyes out.
Yeah. All right. So you're gonna have a quick look around. Did you want to do a perception check, or are you just a flavor look?
Yeah, I'll do a perception check, see if I can sort of notice anything that he might be kind of nodding off to. Yeah, pretty standard. So that's a 3, so 7 total.
Absolutely love it. Your next roll will be a
Great
your next roll will
first
be a
roll.
20,
Oh,
and one after
God.
that will be a 3.
Yep.
7. Yeah,
Excuse me.
you can hear an owl hooting somewhere off in the distance. Doleus seems to be awake. He's tired. He drew first shift, which usually isn't too bad because that does mean you get to sleep in all the way to the morning without having a interrupted rest. And as you sidle over to him, he sort of gives you a glance back over his shoulder and he says, Perseus, you're not asleep yet?
No, I thought I'd stay up and just kind of stretch my legs for a bit. All this fucking walking we've been doing the last however many months has got me aching.
Hey, not much action these last couple of months. Bandits, it seems, have finally got the idea. Stay away from Baldur's Gate. The Flaming Fist patrol these streets, am I right?
They never seem to get the fucking message. It's always more, we kill one and 2 more take their place.
You've been alright, lads. You look a bit off of late.
Just, when I sort of just raise my, like bring my hand up again and just flex it, just weird dreams that, I don't know, not really a nightmare, but not anything to kind of help me fall asleep. I don't know.
Dreams. I know what I'd like to be dreaming about. Old Bessie back at Baldur's Gate. Maybe in
Oh God.
another couple of moons we'll I won't need to fall back on dreams anymore. I'll be back in her arms.
Yeah, I've heard the story.
With the god's luck, huh? Nothing like Bessie from the Elf Song Tavern. Always welcomes you with arms wide open, and not just that.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, you've never been the sort for a laugh. I'm sorry. Look, if you're having trouble sleeping, tomorrow we'll be heading back to Baldur's Gate. Maybe it's just something about being on patrol. Maybe just on edge. It's been a bit too quiet of late. I know that the other boys have been talking. Not much action. They're itching to get their blades wet.
Yeah, like maybe a couple of nights rest in an actual bed, and then, might do me some wonders. And then when we come back out on patrol again, we might be able to spice things up.
Yeah, might do. You better lay your head down for the time being. What watch have you drawn?
I think I went fourth.
Fourth watch.
So,
All right. Well, I guess I'll be seeing you in the morning. You best catch some sleep, boy.
alright. Don't let anyone kill us. And I'll start idling back to the tent.
As you start walking back towards your tent, you hear a thud.
Direction.
Back from whence you came.
Just turn over and see if I can see where Delias is.
Yeah, roll a perception check for me. It's bright light here in the range of the fire. Again, some dim lights towards the outside there, but you should still have bright light from the eyes.
12 total.
With a 12. Does not bring up my notes once again, as always. There we go. Yeah, with a 12, you notice he's gone. And you notice the sound of, like, it's hard to describe, maybe the sound of metal armor rustling, coming from the direction that he just was at.
I'll just, with my hand on my sword here, I'll just take a couple more steps forward and... Delias! I'm really not in the mood for any tricks, just...
When you get to about there, you notice the unconscious form or the dead form of your companyman lying at the bottom of the hill.
How far is that away from me?
10 feet away from where you are, just 10 feet away from where he was sitting earlier on.
I'll draw my sword and then just do like a scan around kind of in the direction that we were looking last to see if there's anyone new that popped up since this happened.
Yeah, you could roll another perception check for me if you wish to do so.
Yeah. Hey, just keep hitting perception checks. That's all we're doing tonight.
Yep, perception. That's all we're gonna do. That's
Dirty 20.
what the campaign is about. Dirty 20. That is enough to notice. You scan around. The first thing that you see seems to be the broken shaft of what appears to be a crossbow bolt sticking out from his shoulder as he's laying prone, face down in the dirt. And the second thing that you notice when you scan around and look behind you, against the night sky, you can see the stars, and for a brief moment you see a couple of the stars sort of fade and then come back again, like someone is moving up on the hilltops, flanking your campsite there. Why don't we roll for initiative? Let's get this going.
Oh my god. Cool. Yep. Cool. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Those of you who wanted action, here it is.
Here we go.
Oh,
Here's
yeah,
that
first
one.
TPK we've been talking about, ladies and gentlemen.
We're
I'm
gonna-
gonna kill them off one
Gonna
by
die
one.
before I even meet the party.
Just the.
Does it count as a TPK if you do it one at a time?
Yeah. That's the way around
It's
it.
just
Maybe.
a delayed TPK, I believe that's what you call it.
I got a 17 for initiative.
17. All right. Just bear with me one moment while I very, very slowly reveal what you see just before combat kicks off. Because as you spin around and you scan the hills behind your campsite, a direction from which you believed to be completely blocked off from the roads and such, because the campsite is surrounded by a number of hills, like foothills, which lead into larger mountains, larger mountain ranges. And you believe that your campsite was pretty safe. You only had one direction from which you needed to keep watch. And as you scan the hilltop, you notice a number of figures moving about. And then you can hear the rustling of bushes as well. Let's get into combat. As you notice 5 figures creeping up over the hills. Oh gods, I'm sorry guys, Above VTT is being very unresponsive with me tonight. Let's add to combat tracker. And let's add these guys to the combat tracker as well. Wow, this is so slow. Sorry about that.
They'll get there.
We'll get there. Hopefully things will speed up a little bit from here on end. But there we go. And first is going to be one of my guys. They see you. Let's find out who it is. It's going to be this gentleman over here. Where are you? Blue. There you are. This guy over here. So, do you call out or anything when you see these figures approaching over the back of the hills?
Yeah, if I got time to get it off, I'm gonna just yell out, "We're under attack!"
Yeah, no, I will allow like quick conversation as a free action as part of your turn. And guys, if you have to make a knowledge check or something like that, quick knowledge checks also just a free action, just so you know, just to keep things simple, keep things going. And this guy, as you call out, you can hear the twang of a drawstring, and he's going to fire a crossbow bolt at you. Let's have a look. First combat of the night, ladies and gentlemen. First attack of the campaign. Let's see if we'll actually roll it.
Crit.
Oh,
Don't even joke.
Dead in the first
Don't even
round.
joke.
it's deciding not to roll it, so I'm going to roll it manually using this over here. Guys, this is not problems with Above VTT, just so we're aware. This is problems with my internet connection. That's slowing everything down to a crawl. So I'm going to do one of these. I'm going to do a manual roll. Alright, so a 7 is not going to hit you, I'm afraid. So, you turn around and you call out to your sleeping comrades. You hear the twang of a drawstring, and a crossbow bolt just narrowly flies by your face. And it is your turn. What do you want to do? As you see 5 figures creeping up over the hill.
I'm going to. Oh god, how much? Are they on like little ledges there? It looks like they're like up high. How high are they off the ground?
Yes. So you've got 2 of them are actually up high on the ledge, and you've got 3 other figures approaching you guys on your level.
Okay, I'll push forward over towards the campfire and be like, "Man, get up! We're under attack!" And then looking around, yeah, this one looks like he's different from the rest, so I'll start making my way towards him.
Good choice.
I can just get up to him, and then as I come forward, draw my sword, and then just tend to slash up at his like general chest face area, my long sword.
You're a practiced soldier. That's your profession. You would have had your sword handy, even though you were about to lay down for the night. But would you still have been wearing your armor? That's what we gotta.
Depending if they only just went down for rest, I would say I wouldn't have my shield on me, but I probably have my armor on. If it's been sort of asleep for an hour, I would have taken everything off. But if it's only like sort of just gone nighttime, I would have my no shield, but my armor on.
Because you generally wear heavy armor, is that right? Chainmail?
Yeah, chainmail and a shield.
Yep. Yeah, okay, I can dig it. You're still wearing your chainmail. You haven't doffed that just yet, but your shield is actually still lying, resting up against the entrance of your tent over there. If you want to grab it, you're welcome to do so. And don't forget, guys, you all have, because we reached 50 followers before tonight's stream. You all have inspiration starting the campaign for the point of inspiration.
Yay!
Only 1 point of inspiration though, guys, for this campaign, because I made the mistake of being too generous previously. This is a long form campaign. I'm not going to be generous. We're going to make it difficult. And you rolled an 18 to hit.
Yes, yeah. So as I guess if I'm allowed to run past my tent, I'll like pick up my shield and then run past, and then go up. Yeah, as I get up to him, just slice up towards his like chest face region, and for an 18 to hit.
For an 18 to hit, as you draw closer to this particular individual, you don't have night vision, or you don't have dark vision. Sorry, at this point. So as you draw closer, in the reflected from the firelight, you can see these ugly, disfiguring scars adorning the left-hand side of this guy's face, as well as his hand. His sword hand seems to be disfigured. He's missing like part of a couple of his fingers, and he's got like a large cloak with the hood drawn up. But now that you're up within 5 feet of him, you can see he has jet black skin with some white hair just visible beneath his hood. And with an 18, that's going to actually be a hit. So, how do you hit him?
So yeah, just upward slash, like right up, probably grazing like right in the middle of his chest as I slash upwards, doing max damage, 12 points of slashing damage straight up his chest.
See, look, you're doing this again. When it comes to perception checks and everything, you're completely blind. But as soon as combat starts, that's when all the natural shit start coming flying around. This is the guy you want at your side at combat. It's not the guy that you want when you're doing investigations, unfortunately. So, that. Cool. Anything else that you wanted to do with your turn?
No, that would be pretty much everything I can do, and then I'll just sort of stand at the ready, waiting for him to retaliate.
All right. So you run up towards this guy. You see those details that I described to you earlier, and your brave rush towards him takes him completely off guard. He's not ready for it, and you slash straight upwards with your longsword. But the armor that he's wearing beneath his large, like purple and black cloak, seems to absorb a lot of the damage, but it does get through, and you can see some blood starting to trickle down from his chest. He stops, almost like in disbelief that you were actually able to hit him. With eyes wide, he looks down, feels his chest and sees blood on his fingers, looks back towards you, and he is going to attack you right on back. Yeah, I think that's what he's going to do. So he looks at the blood on his fingers, and his face scrunches up in a scowl of just pure hatred as he draws a short sword from his hip. One fell motion without stopping, just slashes straight through. Let's see if he's going to hit with a... No, still not going to roll for me. Oh, right. Thanks above VTT. Well, thanks internet. Oh my god, I'm not rolling well tonight. If this is a sign of things to come, I'm cancelling the campaign. right now. So a 9 is going to be a miss.
Yeah, just deflect off my shield
All
as he
right.
comes up.
So he draws his sword and, like a samurai, in one swift motion slashes, but you get your shield up in time. Sparks fly from where the short sword scrapes across your shield, but like a dancer, he pirouettes on the spot, making another attack with his short sword. Let's roll another d20. Let's see if it'll roll now. Nope, still not rolling for me. Great. I'm gonna roll that with a 17. That's gonna be a hit.
With my shield, it will not.
17's not gonna hit you.
18.
Get out of here with that
18's
shit.
my
You're a
AC.
level 1 character with an 18. Come on.
Chainmail and a shield.
Chainmail and a shield.
Chainmail.
I got the same starting kit.
Ah, that's unfortunate. Okay, so he slashes with his sword once, like a dancer, pirouettes on the spot, goes again for another attack. How do you block that one?
So as he like goes for the second attack, I'll kind of like come down with the shield to meet it halfway and kind of connect with the blade as he's coming up. I'll go down with the shield and meet it halfway and just stop him by mid swing.
Your shield connects with his wrist, almost causing him to drop the short sword. Not quite. Go to the next person, which is going to be who are you? That guy right there. As you yelled to your comrades, you heard that loud snoring, which you heard earlier, like stop, and you can now hear rustling from inside the tents and the scraping of metal. As you assume that your comrades are donning their armor as hastily as possible and getting weapons ready. Let's go with this guy's turn. But unfortunately, for the time being, you are completely on your own and outnumbered. Let's roll another attack. Hopefully I can roll a little
This
bit
doesn't
better.
feel familiar.
Let's roll. So a 16, that's going to be a miss.
Yeah. Shield comes up again.
As a crossbow bolt, it clangs off your shield and finds purchase with the tip of the crossbow bolt piercing through right next to your forearm. Then the next guy's turn. We're going to roll another one of those. Let's have a look. Nope, that's a miss. Next guy's turn. It's going to be a natural 20 here somewhere, guys. We do enough of these rolls.
I'm just waiting for it.
22.
That still misses.
Get out of here.
That is-
All right, thanks for joining us, guys.
God.
That's the end of Out of a Quiz. I really hope you enjoyed it. All right, so with a 22, that's going to be a hit.
Definitely, yep.
All right, awesome. Well, then some fun things are going to happen. So another crossbow bolt streaks from out of the darkness, finding purchase maybe in your thigh, and it is going to do. What is it going to do? How much damage? Let's start with that. There's a couple of things are going to happen. D6. So
I keep
it's
thinking
going
when
to
you
do
reach back there, you're going for the sword.
8 points of damage as the tip of this crossbow bolt finds purchase in your leg. And I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw.
Of course.
Oh no!
That shot definitely drops me to one knee.
Because they're drow, of course their crossbow bolts are poisoned.
Oh, it was almost a natural 24 total. 2 plus 2, 4.
So another thing is going to happen. So let me just read this for a second. Yep. All right. So yes. Okay. So this crossbow bolt finds purchase in your leg, digs in deep. You can hear it thwack as it pierces into your flesh. The drow standing in front of you, he has his sword held in a combat stance, ready to deliver the final blow. But as he sees the crossbow bolt find purchase in your leg, he stops short, and you can see an evil smile start to form on the edge of his face. As the environment around you, you can hear the chirping of crickets and the crackling of the fire starts to turn hazy, almost like radio static. Your player, your character wouldn't know that, but you as a player would know the sound of radio static, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And the world around you starts to become fuzzy, hazy. You can still hear the sound of combat as you drop down to one knee, drop down to two knees, and you find the strength in your fingers start to fail, and you drop your longsword to the ground. It drops to the ground with a clang and sends up a cloud of dust as you fall face first into the dirt. You look up the last bit of your strength as you start to fall unconscious. You can see this the figure of this black-skinned elf as he pulls back his hood, standing over you with that evil smile on his face. Just for good measure, he brings his boot down straight on your face, and you black out. And that's the last thing that you can remember. Switch scene, guys. How was that? Did you enjoy that?
That was my heart rate is sitting at 130. So yeah, no, I loved it.
Victor, that's
That
not
was
what
brutal.
you expecting to start a campaign off. Alright,
No.
So much for the old meeting in a tavern and getting sent on a quest, hey?
I know, right?
Yeah.
None of that. None of that with this campaign.
Yeah, so Hadrian, you know this. You would know this as well. Grace, Toby as well, maybe. I never start my campaigns off like a normal campaign. There's never you meet in the tavern. There's always something going on in the background. So I just switched scene, guys. You may just have to scroll down and to the right in order to see what's going on. This one will swap as well. Oh, didn't work. Has it switched?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's down the bottom.
Yep. Yeah, so you may just have to scroll. My one's gone completely blank and it's not doing anything anymore.
Yeah, I've got just black and white boxes.
Well,
Oh, something's happening.
something's happening? Okay, it's just taken a really long time, so you're just going to have to bear with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do something about my internet connection because this is completely unacceptable. Doing a stream where things run this slowly. While we wait, I'm going to reiterate.
Whoop, there's something.
There we go.
Mine just disappeared.
Yep, I've got it.
Awesome.
I had it and then it
Oh,
vanished.
uh-oh.
Oh no, what's going on?
Ooh. Ah,
Well, I can see I know I'm in this room.
come back. Oh, there it is.
Having
And a bunch of other people.
technical difficulties on my end. I'll tell you what I might have to do. I might. Oh, wait, there we go. Oh, we have a response. Whoa, there we go. Finally.
It
We'll,
lives.
we'll
It
go on our break
lives.
relatively soon, and I'll jump out of above BTT and jump back in, and hopefully everything will be fixed a little bit when we get back into it. But I need to be able to scroll and see things as a DM, so this is not working for me at all. It's completely slowed down. Alright, tell you what guys, let's go for a quick break right there, and we'll come back in 5 minutes. I will log out of above VTT, log back in, and hopefully that will sort out our issues. So for those guys watching us live, stick with us. If you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, I apologise sincerely about the technical issues that we're having. Hopefully it'll be fixed in a second. But yeah, no, why don't we just go for a quick break? We'll be back in a couple of minutes, guys.
Roger that.
back. I apologize about that, everyone. Thank you for sticking with us. Unfortunately, as always, when you're streaming on Twitch, you can put in all the work in the world. Everything will be working perfectly. And then when you start streaming, I think I've said this before, everything just falls apart and just completely ruins your life. But we're back. As you can see, I've had to remove the map that you guys were seeing there, but that's okay because this is Dungeons and Dragons, and it's they call it Theatre of the Mind for a reason. I've got 5 people here who are extremely good at describing things in vivid and gory detail. So I don't think we need that map. We'll just be explaining everything that we do, and it'll actually be maybe a little bit better for Spotify. Alrighty then. Who's ready to get back into it?
Let's go.
Me.
Now that I have hopefully sorted out our technical issues for the night. Alright. No, yes, it's gonna work. No, stop again. No, there we are. Alrighty then.
Yeah.
Captured by the Drow. You wouldn't wish this
great.
fate upon anyone, yet here you are, locked in a dark cave, the cold, heavy weight of metal tight around your throat and wrists. You are not alone. Other prisoners are trapped in here with you, in an underground outpost far from the light of the sun. You've been pressed into performing hard labour, often menial and redundant tasks, carrying stacks of heavy rocks from one spot to another before having to carry them back again. Perseus, you were the last to arrive, having been deposited on the cold, hard floor with the others. The fellow prisoners have kept mostly to themselves, but they haven't been entirely idle. Seraphil, you've been here the longest. Let's see if you've managed to hide anything from your captors in the time that you've been here. I need you to roll a D10. No, D20.
D10?
D20 for me, sorry.
Alright. Am I doing that in VTT? Yes, there we go. Roll. Looks like a 15.
Looks like a 15, or is it 15? With
Yeah, it is a 15.
a 15. So what is it?
Oh, there it is.
D20, 15. So you have found, maybe while you were carrying heavy rocks, being ordered by the Drow to just do this redundant and menial task. You have no idea why they're making you do this. Probably just to keep you tired and keep you from being able to start some kind of prison break. But while you were picking up these heavy rocks and carrying them from one point to another and then back again, you found a small shard of flint that you've been able to form into a makeshift dagger.
Oh, great.
Chuck that into your inventory and explain to me how has Serathel managed to keep this little makeshift flint dagger hidden from his Drow captors.
Alright, what have I got other than this bit of flint, like just clothes?
Yeah, just the clothes that are on your back. They've given you just some rags, maybe they don't fit you particularly well, but that's all you've got. They've taken away all of your gear, it seems.
Well, I guess I probably would have torn strips off of this to make a bit of a handle around the things to make it, a bit better as a knife. So at the same time, I'd maybe get a strip where I can tie it around my leg, but keeps under whatever other kind of clothing I've got there. But yeah, so I can get at it by pulling up the pant leg and there's the knife or something.
So yeah,
Even if it's around my lower leg or something.
You're doing this task as a pair of Drow warriors watch you, hand crossbows drawn, as you're carrying rocks back and forth from one point to another. You bend over to pick up a rock, and you see underneath this like a piece of flint. You quickly pocket it before the Drow notice, and you take it back to your cell when you're done with your task. And before you pass out for the night from the hard labour, you sit down and you just chip away, trying to be as quiet as you can up against the wall maybe, and you sharpen it into a sharp enough point that you're confident that you can use it as a weapon. You tear a little bit of your rags off, wrap it around, and you tie it onto your leg, which is it's safe for the time being. It might not hold up against scrutiny, but we'll see how we go. Thrash.
When you said adding this to my sheet, just for saying, am I adding like a dagger, or have we got an improvised weapon entry or something?
It is an improvised weapon, but it's just going to act the same as a dagger.
Okay.
For mechanical purposes. So you can just add a dagger in there, and if you want to add a note that it's improvised weapon or whatever, you can do so if you wish. But
Sweet.
if you could add a note that it's like a flint dagger, just in case that becomes important later on.
Cool.
Just check. Yeah, no, that's all well and good. All right. So next, Thrash, you've been here for a while as well. Why don't you roll a d20 for me? Let's see what you've been able to find with your time.
I can do that. A 3.
A 3.
A 3.
Hadrian, do you have the table open? I want to hear from you.
It's 3. How many days have you been staying there, Thrash? Sorry?
So she rolled. So when I got you guys to roll a d10, I didn't tell you what it was. That was actually for how many days that you were there. So Thrash, you rolled a 6.
Plus a 3?
Plus 3, did you roll? Yes.
Hmm?
Why don't you tell
Well,
me what you've done?
I was going to say, despite your observant and tedious, steadfast dedication to your work, you have found nothing.
Typical.
Are we looking at the same one here, buddy? What did you get? 13 in total.
Was it six plus? Wasn't it 6 plus 9? 6 plus 3, so 9.
So it's 3 plus. Oh yeah, 6. So 9. Yeah, you're correct. Yeah, sorry.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes. Oh.
Maybe Thrash. You're having difficulty sleeping. I'm assuming.
Well, I would, I mean, this would all be very traumatic for her. Like, she doesn't like enclosed spaces, obviously not a fan of fire. It's not helping that she's sleeping on the ground. But in saying that, she does have claws. So I imagine they would not have attempted to declaw her because that would have ended very badly. So she does have claws as an unarmed strike that can be used as a weapon. So that's there.
Yeah. So as a tabaxi, you can use was it 1d4 slashing damage as your unarmed attack?
1d4 plus 3.
Well,
Yeah, so you don't even need the dagger. Yeah,
Yeah, I know. I've got a plus 5 to hit as well.
If you have a dagger, that's prison currency. You could trade it in for like a bar of
2
soap
cigarettes.
or-
No.
Cigarettes, yeah, that's the one. Whatever prison people like to have, soap, crack. I don't know. I also need a roll from Lady Athera.
Yes. Dude.
Let's see what comes up. We have a
4.
4. So a 4. Plus 4. Unfortunately, it's not gonna be enough. Althea, what does a normal day in the life of Lady Althea look like? Let's get a little bit of an idea of who this is.
Normally,
Yes.
well, since my Yeah, since my thing, I usually would be studying, reading up on some books, practicing some techniques, trying to reach out to the world beyond. Just trying to better myself and become a better warrior for my house. But yeah, since being captured, this hasn't been fun. Um, so we've been here for a few days and we've looked around, and do I notice some people that are standing out a little bit further than others, like stronger, more robust?
So yeah, you've been there for 4 days now. I don't know exactly what the situation is that led you to be captured. That's maybe there's something that we're going to have to flush out as we go, or flesh out, I should say, not flush out. This isn't a toilet. But yeah, you can see amongst your fellow captives. I will put the other players on board as well to see them. So there you are, you there. And apparently you have no hit points.
I'm a wizard, so that makes sense.
Oh man, this thing is doing all kinds of fun things for me tonight. Yes, okay. Thrash also has no hit points, so it doesn't.
know.
It looks like it is going to be a TPK, guys. Can you guys see your tokens on the map
Yeah.
there?
Just stay
Yes,
behind me, guys. I've got a whole 13. But apparently no armor,
And
which is a problem.
And I've got no
No.
axe. So,
Yeah, no,
you
no,
know.
they don't give you many of that stuff in prison, I'm afraid.
No.
yeah, let's
No.
chuck them in prison, but we'll leave them with their great axe. Surely
Come on
she'll
through,
make-
Hey,
guys.
don't
Come
I
on,
get a
step into
phone
prison. Oh,
call?
sorry, that axe. No, lose the axe. You can't.
Don't I get a phone call though? Can my axe not be my phone call?
A what, madam?
I
You
get
would
a
like
phone
what
call. I know my rights.
What is
yeah.
this phone call?
At least one weapon gets coming
So amongst the
if you can
prisoners,
hide it.
Lady Althera, the people that stand out to you the most are a quite lively tabaxi, a half drow gentleman. I guess to you he might seem like a full drow, maybe not entirely.
Especially considering my mother is a high elf, so there's not much in the way of human. I'm just paler skin. Like my skin's more an ash grey than the black that most of the drow are, but that's about the only difference physically.
And your most recent cellmate just seems to be a human man. Why don't you, Hadrian, describe the rest of this motley bunch that Lady Athera sees around her?
So we'll describe them all, you reckon? I guess.
Well,
Well, hang on. Let's just say you were looking for strong people that would stand out, beefy. People,
Yeah,
weren't you?
I just like, is this towards the end of the day? Is this like we're now being put to
Yeah.
sleep? Like, is this the setting that
I-
we're in? Like what? Yeah.
Yeah, well, for the most part, you're all just basically thrown in there. You would be, I guess, just getting used to prison life, as in, they would obviously make it very hard for you. You wouldn't know what time of day it was. I presume food would come at almost random times, if at all. It would be rather unpalatable, of course. So you wouldn't have much in the way of more than what you can see, which is, this dark cell sort of cave thing. But looking around at your fellow people, I'd probably say one of the first ones would stand out as quite a large quaggoth, a nice big blue hulking quaggoth, very angry looking, very always thinking about something. Doesn't talk at all. He has mumbled, a few times when someone's talked to him, but he doesn't seem very talkative. He, however, do we want to do the languages? Does anyone by any chance speak Elvish at all?
I probably should.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you have heard him speaking, but he doesn't. He keeps it usually very short. Usually gets angry at the person. I'd probably also think who else is probably going to stand out to you. Probably there's another. Yeah, like I Spencer, there's a male drow in there too. He looks a bit pissed off most of the time, looking around at people, looking at himself. He's almost like looking if there's someone who's supposed to be there. Like he's a bit paranoid, sort of thing. This Drow, but you would say mostly because obviously he doesn't know anyone. He wants to know how he's going to survive in there. You'd probably take you on the. I'm trying to think who else might stand out.
Potentially the burly orc.
Oh yes. There's an orc there. He doesn't have time of the day for anyone. He probably takes what he wants, I guess, including food of the more younger thing. Because there's actually not very big, but there's two sort of very very small deep gnomes. They seem to be related or something, very close to each other. They seem to get bossed around by this orc.
And this might be a person who you guys have had trouble with in the past. He acts a bit like the bully of the schoolyard in this cell.
I wouldn't have put up with that for 10 days. No way. I would have put up with that for 10 days.
Okay, so you
And thinking those little deep gnomes, they'd probably speak Undercommon, right?
Yes, yeah.
Which I also speak.
Yeah.
So I've probably been trying to get some kind of relationship going with them so we can keep this guy a little bit, under control at least.
You're ready to shiv this bloke already.
prison fight.
If he's being a bully, and therefore, like messing with other innocent people, then that's going to be a problem for me.
Okay, in the prison, you think? Or do you take a little bit of like observation first, or?
Yeah, I'm not just gonna go up and stab the guy, like, that's what I mean. I've been talking with the deep gnomes a little bit, and trying to figure out exactly what the go is, and maybe some way we can get out of here, but also get him to stop being belligerent, so we can work together, rather than having to deal with him being a possible, threat to that, and get him to stop pushing everyone around.
All right, we'll play with that in a second. I need one more D20
Yep.
roll, and I need it from everyone's favourite constitutional hero. That is Perseus. Perseus the Constitutional. That's what they call him.
So far and wide. Is a 17.
Ooh.
17. Adrian, over to you, my friend.
And how many days were you in prison? Sorry.
Only one.
1.
Ooh. Okay. So you probably been told to push around some boxes and then back and forth for no apparent reason. But what you notice is when you push a box up against the wall, it's sort of stuck by something. Behind this box, this something is actually a 5-foot long strand of silk rope. Yes, I imagine you probably coil that around your hand or something, hide it up the top there for the time being. But otherwise, on your person, is a piece of rope 5 foot long.
Yeah, feel free to
yeah,
add
like
that
under-
to your inventory.
Yeah, like
Yes,
where
keep
my
it unsafe.
where like my kind of over shirt sits, I'm gonna like have it tucked up kind of under the armpit there, resting like under the armpit of the sleeve, and just have it sort of tucked away.
Okay.
Yes, I would guard that one with my life.
Very good. Yeah, you never know when a piece of rope's going to come in handy during the campaign. You might want to garage
Especially if this rock guy's gonna, yeah.
All right, so someone's got a piece of rope, and someone. I think Serathel, you won out big on that one. You got a.
I did. I got the stabby thing.
Flint dagger. You never know what you can do with that. You can maybe improvise some other things. You can use that flint dagger for.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, you all find yourself prisoners of the Drow. You've each been there for a varying amount of time. Serathel, you've been there the longest, and you've gotten to know these people a little bit. They mostly keep to themselves, and are resigned to the fate that they know is coming. Slaves for the Drow. What do you want to do? You can see those pair of deep gnomes in the corner. They're mostly quiet, keeping to themselves. You can see what appears to be a humanoid mushroom, not very tall, maybe 3.5 feet tall, something like that. Does that fly, Hadrian? Is that about the right height for stool?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I actually don't have the specs on him, but that's what I reckon it would be.
There's a
Yeah.
there's a drow that seems to be quite fond of stool, hanging around him a lot, like watching him out of the corner of his eyes.
Yeah.
And he seems to be behaving a little bit strangely, a little bit jittery every now and then. There's some twitches. You see a kuotoa, for those that are unfamiliar with that. It's like a fish person, for lack of a better description.
Amphibian.
Yeah, like an amphibian. They've got hands and feet and all that kind of stuff. But for all intents and purposes, they look exactly like a fish. There's another deep gnome who's a little bit louder than the rest of them. He is there as well. He's in the northern end of the cell. You have a dwarven woman who's been quiet up till now, contemplating her fate. There's an orc. There's a Kragoth, as we described earlier, and there's also a what do you call it again?
Adero? Was it just Adero? Yeah.
Yes, correct. Adero.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you want to do?
So
I was going to say, what you could do is, because Mark, you had a couple of characters you wanted to sort of learn about. Was there anyone else that, characters immediately stood out to them? Do you want to maybe break it down to who everyone would meet to, or?
Say again, sorry.
Oh well, as in like Mark knows his characters already, so I mean you could like start on his characters, or if anyone else also had preferences in who they would probably seek out to learn about first.
Let's start with Mark. You've been there the longest.
Yeah. True.
Right,
Yes.
I'm thinking because I already know, like, most of the people that are already here, even if the other player characters have arrived a little bit, but Perseus has just arrived today, right? So I'd probably be wandering over to him and see how he's settling in.
What is Perseus doing?
Sitting down in the corner, kind of off to the side, trying to use his thumb to try and split the piece of rope in two, like right in the middle. But just trying to do it on the sly. So not really working very well, but it's going to be a long process. But that's he's sort of just sitting there, whittling away in the middle of this rope.
That's what you see. By the way, guys, dim light in this cell, which is being provided by what seems to be some luminescent fungus lanterns suspended from the ceiling by like silken webs.
All right.
And the cell we're in, is it grated or is it like a hard door?
So the cell door, as you can see, there is like a 15-foot wide cell door with like thick iron bars.
All right, so the guards outside can see in and all of that kind of stuff.
Well, in order for someone to be able to see in, they would have to be like standing there, looking between the bars. From a distance, you wouldn't be able to see it. In fact, because you guys have been doing a little bit of hard labor while you're here, I could probably reveal a little bit of the map to you guys. So I'm just going to go and reveal just a little bit.
I've done some calculations in my head, and I'm like, I say out loud, 13's good numbers, and I'm going to go to the greater door and start to inspect what's outside and what's around as well, and be right at the door.
Okay. You're standing at the door, Serathel. You're making your way over to to our good friend Perseus. What do you do?
I'll wander over and I guess I notice what he's doing with the rope, and so I'll just sort of casually sit down beside him and just be like, "Do you want some help with that?" In common, and my common's a little bit clunky. It's not my primary tongue.
I'll just kind of look over to him and then just give him a quick up and down, and then just kind of hold out the partially frayed little nook in the middle of the rope.
All right, I'll take a look around and see if anyone else is watching us.
Are you guys trying to? You're trying to keep this from being Like other people seeing it, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Trying to be
on the
sly.
down low.
On the
Yep.
down low, as it were. Yep.
Cool kids say.
Yes, I was never one of those, unfortunately. And never shall I be. I don't like being cool. I find that the cooler you try and be, the more you look like an idiot. So I just be as uncool as I can, and that seems to work out for me. No one seems to notice at this point.
All right. Well, I'll discreetly pull out the flint blade and offer it over to him to keep working on the end of the rope, and then kind of stand up, and just casually sort of try and keep myself in between him and anyone who might look over, and just look like we're sort of talking or something, and just keep some general conversation. Like,
Thank
how are you doing?
you for the raid, guys, from Dirty's Dungeon. Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties earlier, but we're powering through it. Continue on, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna just take that bit of flint and just sever the rope directly in the middle, and then kind of just pocket the bits of rope, and then stand up, and then kind of just like casually start to walk around the room, and just as I go past my new Drow friend, I'll just like kind of palm the bit of flint back into his hand, and just keep walking past.
I'll try and slip it back into where it was.
Roll a sleight of hand check for me.
Oh, I knew that was coming. Sleight of
it's you.
hand.
There's a lot of people in that cave.
Oh, I'm +0 on sleight of hand, so let's see here.
I got a 16.
I got a 14.
16 and a 14. I'm gonna see if my rolls are gonna work with my character. Hadrian, do any of the other characters notice this?
I reckon there's a male deep gnome who's a bit conniving looking. He probably would have been watching this with great interest. So if that roll wasn't high enough, I think he would probably want to have seen it.
And Thrash probably would have seen it too, because she's standing very close.
Thrash is right there.
For that particular deep gnome, Hadrian. Let's see if he.
Oh, 12 for this one.
12. No, it seems. Well, I get. Yeah, no, it would be. He was actively watching, so it would be a perception check. But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be enough. You guys seem to pull this off without anyone noticing. Lady Aethera, you're making your way over to the gate there. Is that correct?
Yeah, looking out. I want to have a look. Is in terms of the general pattern, how do they lock us in here? Is there like a lever on the outside? Is it keys? Like when I come in, and then over the course of these days, what have I noticed in terms of like how this door operates?
So I'll tell you what you noticed over the last few days. You know that the door has a heavy iron padlock, very thick, which is what keeps it secure. Heavy iron bars, and just outside of the gate itself, there's maybe 5-10 feet of a ledge before a vertical drop off, like a cliff face. You guys would all know that the people that have done the hard labor out there would know that this outpost that you're in seems to be built up on a ledge in a cavern, somewhere in a cave, as far as you're aware of. And there's a walkway just outside and to your right, which runs along the side of the cliff, which leads to another natural cavern, which maybe you guys have had to clean in the past. And there's a rope bridge directly opposite the cage door there.
Would we know where that leads?
It leads to what appears to be a stalactite with a door in it. For those who are unaware, stalactite is it's the one that hangs from the ceiling, if that makes sense. Like a build-up of minerals that forms when water drips from a cave ceiling. It's just built up into quite a large stalactite, maybe 30 feet across, and there's a door, but you haven't been able to see inside of there.
All right.
Do we know who has the keys to that padlock? Is it like a warden that has them all, or is it a a singular place that it's put?
Yes, you would have seen the same drow. You probably don't know that it's the drow that did this, but the same drow that knocked out Perseus earlier is the drow that seems to be the one that has the set of keys on him. He's also the same one that quite often brings you guys your meals, which is delivered to you at random intervals, and it's extremely difficult to keep track of time in here. And while you're standing at the gate there, Lady Athera, you hear the sound of footsteps approaching. Come on, virtual tabletop, don't do this to me. Put it all the way over there again. Oh, really? Really? No, it's not the one I want. Go away. Alright, now I've got to scroll all the way back. This is really... trying to do this. I've got to find a fix for this. I'm going to do it like this in the future. There we go. So yeah, you can hear the echoes of footsteps approaching from the rope bridge opposite the gate there. And you see a drow woman you haven't seen before, dressed in a low-cut silken robes, accompanied by 6 drow men approaching the cell. What do you do?
Just stand there, watching. I'm looking, I'm looking for a certain someone. They're probably not in this place, but it's all a part of the plan. I'm just going to wait patiently and see what they do.
Okay. So the party of drow approached the cell. The woman leading the way, flanked by a pair of drow warriors. One of them being the scarred drow, which you know is the one carrying the keys. They stop and fan out in front of the bars of the cell, and the lesser drow warriors, with their crossbows drawn, point them at you and order you to stand back from the.
All right, calm down.
Do you do so?
Yes, yep.
I'm just gonna take like a step a little bit closer from where I am, so I can try and get a better look at what's going
Yeah,
on
me
now
too.
that I've heard this going on.
Yeah, I'm doing like the lean on the wall with my hands in my pockets.
Okay.
Start there, maybe.
So you stand back, Lady Athera, and the scarred drow man makes his way over to the cell door. He draws the bandolier of keys from his belt, unlocks the heavy padlock, pulls it off, pushes the cell door open, and stands aside, allowing the rest of the party to enter the cell. Before he rejoins them, taking his place by the side of this drow woman. And the woman walks slowly through the cell, surveying the gathered prisoners as the other guards fan out with crossbows at the ready. Does anyone speak Drow? I'm assuming that Sarathel speaks Drow.
Undercommon, I'm guessing they speak.
Is that correct? Adrian,
Because I don't think there is a Drow language. I just think most denizens of the Underdark speak Undercommon, yeah?
Yep, okay. So yes, Undercommon.
So yes.
Yes, you do speak Undercommon. Anyone else speak Undercommon?
I do.
You do? Okay, good choice. So the drow woman walks into the center of the cell, and she surveys everyone there, and she says, "Is this all that you could muster for Shore Vandry. Menza Berenzan needs slaves now more than ever. And this is all that you could provide? You continue to disappoint. It's very subtle, but you notice the scarred male. His hands tighten ever so slightly on the hilt of his blade, while the other drow at the mistress's side smirks almost imperceptibly. You were going to say, Thrash?
Thrash wouldn't have been able to understand them, but she would certainly take a stab at insulting them. So she just sort of hears them speaking and conversing and is like, "Oi, idiots, none of us can understand you."
Almost all of the drow that have their crossbows drawn point them at you now. And one of the drow male that was standing at her side, the one without the scars, steps forward, hand raised as if to strike you. But the female steps forward and says something that you don't understand. But the rest of you who speak Undercommon, she says, "Stop! Stand aside." He stops with his hand raised and steps to the side. And this woman steps up towards you. You can see the fine, filigree in her dress seems to be embroidered like spiders' webs, like silver spider webs in this black and purple dress that she's wearing. Quite well made, quite well tailored. You can tell this is a person of some important stature. And she has, on a sash tied around her waist, there's a rod with on the tip. On one end is like a sharp tip, and on the other end it's like tentacles. It like sprouts out in like 4 or 5 tentacles, and she pulls it from her hip, and she says, "For those who can understand it, and I thought I instructed you to remove all of their belongings before bringing them here." She steps up to you, Thrash, and with the pointed end of her rod, she points it towards you. Do you do anything?
No, I'm just sort of waiting to see what happens. I'm just sort of standing there watching, sort of like paws, I guess, twitching, like, ready to Wolverine on her.
How close is she to me?
Sorry?
How close is she to me?
I would say, they would have forced you guys to stand up against the wall, except Thrash stepped up into the center of the, let's say you're at most 10-15 feet away.
Alright, so it's yeah, alright, no, that's probably further than what I was hoping.
So not far, just a quick step and slash away from doing some damage if you wanted to do that. But
all the crossbows are trained on Thrash, aren't they?
Well, I mean, they're trained on her at the moment, being the person who's closest to her. But you can tell that as soon as things kick off, they're gonna let loose. They're keeping a good eye on everyone here.
All right, I'll hold off.
You can see eyes darting from left to right between the 4 other drow and the 2 males. And she, with the tip of the rod, the pointed ends, she slides it up against your neck, underneath the chain, which up until now has been obscured by like your fur, and draws it back until the pendant on the emblem on the end of the chain is visible. And she looks at it and she says, "Interesting," she says, while she carefully studies this medallion. "Where did you acquire this, slave?" And that last word You might not be able to understand what she's saying, but you know it was said with dripping with contempt. Contempt. Not content. She's not content with you. She's contemptuous.
She's content with her insult.
Obviously not understanding what she says, but that pendant is very important to her. So she just looks at her like she's never looked at anyone in her whole life. And she's like, you have 3 seconds to drop that pendant before I rip your face to shreds.
And you're saying that in common. I'm gonna put a couple of people on the map here. Let's see what we can find. Let's go with. This might take a little bit of time as it slowly loads everything.
Is this situation getting tense? Like, is everyone
Yes,
like?
you can tell that it's getting tense.
Yes,
You can
yes.
tell Thrash doesn't understand what she's saying, but there seems to be an understanding that things are getting tense. But the Drow woman doesn't seem to be too phased by what's going on. The rest of the Drow that are gathered around the cell are watching all of you nervously, eyes darting back and forth. And the 2 males, have their hands, ready on the hilts of their sword.
And she's just waiting for someone to say
thinking? He's
something
like, what
so
are
she
you-
can start counting down.
Your tongue.
She doesn't mean it, my lady. She is just hungry and tired. We do not want any trouble. Just to go on with another day in your servitude.
And you're saying that in Undercommon, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Yes. She gives you sort of a side eye for a moment and looks back towards you, Thrash, and in Undercommon says, she will learn to obey, or she will make a good sacrifice for Spider Queen. And she reaches towards the medallion.
Okay, that was strikes 1, 2, and 3 right there. I would like to make an unarmed strike with my claws, please. And I'm raging hardcore. I gave her 3 seconds. I would like to rage, so I am currently raging, and I'm going to do an unarmed strike. So, oopsie, I rolled the wrong one. Rolling again.
If she's doing that, I'm going straight for the nearest Drow.
So I got a 10.
With my flint knife.
That does nothing, but
Oh,
it's
boy.
10. Oh, actually, no, I get advantage. Because I'm raging. Hang on.
Alright, let's...
I've never played a barbarian before.
Let's
Okay,
if we're gonna start
it's a 10.
taking hostile action, let's start talking about initiative. For
I was going to say
starters.
that needs to be rolled.
Hold on to those rolls, because we're about to get into it, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
No, she didn't.
I was gonna wait.
Oh, yes, she did.
I was gonna wait for the one that's likely to be a powerful spellcaster to be leaving before we attacked, but okay.
I gave her 3 seconds.
I'm gonna put another couple of Drow on board.
Jesus.
I'm sorry.
Why don't Hadrian? Why don't you maneuver our good friends here, the rest of our cellmates, into where you think that they would be? I'm assuming that they would be around the outsides of the cell, trying to keep their distance from what's going on.
Oh yeah, they'd be sort of circling back. Like they know. I was gonna say it's quite clear from their demeanor and their like going away from this situation that they probably not would have done that person. They would not have done that personally.
Oh, I wanted to be back up against a wall as well. Like,
Yeah, put yourself where you think you would be as this situation unfurls. While I wait 7 or 8 days for this to load, what I'm trying to load here.
I'm gonna say
there's no
the big
option to
Quagga,
ignore
he's
his
pretty
face
close
off.
to the action. Like he's not sort of He's not phased by it. There's the Drow, the really weird sus-looking Drow. He's in the back, making sure he has that spore thing in his gaze.
In terms of
Oh, sorry.
while everything's loading, how many guards have we noticed throughout this like outpost area? Like, is there, 6 guards to 20 guards, 10 guards to 15 guards? Like, how many guards have we seen?
Roll a perception check.
Perception,
Yeah. Anyone who's been there for longer than 1 day can roll that perception check, and I'll give you a little bonus depending on how many days you've been there for.
4 days? I got 8.
You got an 8. All right. So an 8.
Yeah.
I was going to give you a
Oh.
+2 for that.
Gotta do a memory check,
You
like a
notice
history check.
those
try to remember?
guards, the ones that are in here.
I got a 1.
You got a
Right.
1.
You
Plus-
can't even
plus
see the
nothing,
guards
but
that
I've
are
been
there
in for
now
10 days.
currently.
I got an 8.
You got an 8. So we got an 8, an 8, and a 1. So nothing beyond a 12.
Yeah.
I will tell you. Let me just have a quick look. I'll read exactly how many there are. There are anywhere between 10 to 30 drow. You would imagine, at least.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Easy.
You're welcome.
You don't know exact
At
numbers
least.
because you haven't been particularly perceptive. And I probably should have gotten you to roll that with disadvantage, given the dim light conditions and all that kind of stuff. But no, it's all good.
Well, we're
It's
about to
all
find out anyway.
Oh.
So
Got dark vision. Is that beats that helps? Right?
That does make it. Yeah. But you don't need to roll with.
I think if you're in dim light, though, dark vision doesn't get its advantage, doesn't it? You've got to actually be
Yeah,
in,
that's
in
correct,
proper
yeah,
dark
so,
light
yeah,
for it
you're
to
right.
work.
just
Yeah.
those that have. Where's my other one? Where are you? Drow Priestess, you are there. Thrash, where'd you go?
I don't know. I assume that
Under-
Thrash has
underneath
actually
Perseus.
escaped.
Oh yeah, she's underneath me. She's hiding behind me.
So Perseus jumped on top of her like a brave soldier jumping on a grenade.
I was about to say, otherwise she's been slapped back to the last campaign.
There's a pair of Drow elite warriors flanking her on either side. There we go. All right. Now wait another half an hour while I get all my Drow and add them to the initiative tracker. Let's talk about who's actually going to get in on this. Who's stepping in to this?
I'll straight up I'm straight up heading into this elite drow next to her,
Yes.
like the nearest one that I can get to.
All right.
Oh, actually, you know what? I might be smart about this and head over here and engage one of these guys that's got a crossbow.
I would like to also
Fine choice.
put my initiative in it as well.
Well, everyone, whack your initiative in, and then when it comes to your turn, if you don't want to get involved,
Initiative.
you can just step back and.
Rolling initiative. Where's the button?
Yes.
There it is. Great big +0.
14.
4.
And Hadrian, which one of these? I don't want to add everyone to the combat tracker. Do you think there's anyone here that's going to step?
I actually don't think, from reading the characters and knowing them, what they've seen, I don't think they have any reason to even want to or need to enter this provocation. Like, they just sort of keep their heads down. They've been talking to you, and you will learn bits and pieces here, but I don't think any of them would want to risk their life to defend someone they've not met yet, they don't know. Obviously, from what you've seen, no one is, I guess, chaotically evil inclined to just jump into this mess. They're all pretty just accepting of their fate, shutting up and just going, oh, here we go, here's another one of those things, and then they just sort of shuffle back. And although I've got a funny feeling that the one of the what's his name, the gnome, you know who I'm thinking about, is probably walking around to people and going, "All right, I've got 5 gold. I've got 5 gold that they're flattened in this first couple of seconds. He's got 5 gold. Anyone 5 gold?"
It's a
Is
good
this in
bet to
common?
take.
This would be in undercommon, I think.
okay.
Deep gnome, yeah, undercommon.
Oh, I might just like throw him a look over my shoulder, kind of sneer and just shout at the others. Do you want to be slaves forever?
Thrash the Troublesome, living up to your name, you lash out at this woman. I'm going to say that may be a prepared action. So it's gonna go off at the top of the rounds. What did you roll for that attack?
I did get a 10, so I imagine that would do absolutely jack shiz. But I do have inspiration, so I guess this is a good opportunity. Thash would want to use it to get out. So I guess I'll use that inspo. What is it? Like a D4, 3?
The inspiration allows you to re-roll a D20 dice. So whenever you roll a D20, you can use your inspiration to re-roll it and take the better of the two options.
Okay, well, I might roll that to hit on the unarmed strike with the claws, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it. You roll the D20, you can roll another one. Let's find out what happens. 7.
10. We are sticking with the 10. We are sticking with the 10 I rolled originally. Okay.
So with a 10,
Hand again.
she reaches out with her hand to grab this medallion, and you lash out. But she's much quicker than you. She catches you by the wrist. Your claw is stopping an inch away from your face, and with the other hand, she raises up her wand or rod, I should say, and we go to the top of the initiative order. Perseus, quick off the bat.
Only because it's combat, natural 20. But I, having put on guard duty in prisons a couple of times before, I know how they treat the rowdy prisoners, so I can see the direction this is going. So I'm just going to stand there and kind of just stand against the wall and just kind of stare with determination and a little bit of daggers at the scarred drow, and just stare at him, just stare him down, but just not do anything.
Are you going to take a bet?
Yeah, anyone gonna take a bet? You can see the large orc man step back, and his eyes are just darting back and forth between the various drow. What are the rest of the prisoners doing? Is anyone taking this bet?
No, I don't think any of them are taking the bet. No, because they're all genuinely perplexed, and they've never seen this. They've never seen I guess this level of action.
So this is kicking off, and this little deep gnome, like ashen skin, bald, with a bit of a beard going on. He's making his way around the cell like a Thai man at Lumpini Stadium, trying to take bets on a Muay Thai match.
5 gold. Come on, mate. 5 gold. I'll give you 2 to 1 odds. 2 to 1 odds. If he wins, I'll give you 10.
It's our first Drow turn, and he is going to hold. He is going to prepare an action. He's not going to do anything. And then it is Lady Athera Westington's turn.
So who's the guy that's got the keys? Is it
That
this
would
guy?
be
Just you?
this gentleman right here.
All right. Well, I see a door open, so I'm going to teleport 30 feet out the door.
Alrighty then.
Just a boink, gone.
So
isn't
a
it?
Hold on. One
wispy
second.
black.
Don't move yourself just yet. We do have to remember, guys. You are. I did forget to mention this when you lashed out, Thrash. Your wrists are still bound with iron shackles. You should have made the attack with disadvantage. Forgot about that. That's all right.
Oh, sorry.
And you're bound with iron shackles that are actually also bound to your neck. So you're reaching out. There's enough length for you to be able to move your hands. So there's that. And Lady Athera, you are attempting to cast a spell.
No, I just teleport.
Just teleport.
So I use Blessing of the Raven
Just
Queen,
teleport.
which enables me to Misty Step, or not Misty Step. I just teleport to 30 feet to an unoccupied space you can see. As I go like a translucent shadowy color, I just go there.
Ooh,
Awesome.
actually.
Oh.
Ooh.
Hadrian, why don't you have a little
Sneaky,
read
sneaky.
and tell me what you think about doing that.
Well, I was actually going to say, no one. I don't think anyone had a perception to see it, but there is actually a anti-magic field in this cell, which makes casting magic incredibly difficult and sometimes dangerous for even the caster. If I'm not mistaken, attempting a teleport spell.
Not a
There's
spell though. It's just I just teleport.
That's the problem that I'm thinking
It's
about.
still.
Is because he's not.
Oh,
technically
what's your
casting-
spell? Sorry, the well, the or the
It's not a. It's just called Blessing of the Raven Queen.
So it's a racial trait.
It's a racial trait for my, for who I am.
Yeah, that's all right. I tell you what, it's not a spell. It's a racial trait. I would say though that that this anti-magic field, because that's not a mundane thing that you're doing. You're still
Yeah.
you're still tapping the weed, even though it's a natural thing for your race. Does that fly for you guys, or do you think that should not count as casting a spell?
Oh, I mean, as
Dan's
someone
back.
who likes to play very fast and loose, I guess my motto is it's magic. So like it's a magical moonbeam, and even if you're in a cave, it's still magic. So there's still gonna be a magical moonbeam. So I guess, I mean, it's up to your discretion as the DM, but for me, I guess it's magic. So
Yeah.
I guess any magical thing would be like no go past the magical barrier-ish thing, but I don't know.
Whereabouts are you teleporting to, by the way, too?
To this front porch that I can see.
Oh, because you did look outside, yes.
And they open the door.
I'll tell you what.
So it's open.
I will get you to roll on it. And
If I know that it would be that hard, I would just action disengage,
Yep.
move 30 feet out the door. What is it? 5, 10. 10 feet out the door and see what I see.
you go
I don't know if you'd know
5,
until you tried
10
it, though.
feet, and then our good friend who held his action is going to use his action. Which one are you? There you are.
Well, I prefer to teleport because that gets me clear out of the room.
Well, I'm going to say no. Teleportation's not going to be. It's not going to be effective. You reach inside of yourself to draw upon this natural talent that you have. I'm ruling it that it's magic. It's not going to work. I believe if you look up the effects of an anti-magic field, it also counts for. Does it count for magical weapons as well? Adrian, look that up
Yeah.
for me.
I think it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
and
it
also
does.
spells and spell-like abilities.
Spell-like abilities.
Yeah.
So,
Probably the
yes,
wording
it's,
that it
But it
would have.
makes sense.
So I'm gonna rule. You look inside yourself and try and draw upon this this magical ability that you have, but something is blocking you, almost like someone walking into a glass door. You're not quite sure what it is, but you're unable to use your spell. I'm not going to give you any negative effects of attempting to use a spell in an anti-magic field, but you're unable to do it. Are you going to try and walk out the door?
So I've tried to go. It hasn't gone off. No, I'm just gonna stay and watch.
You're going to stay and watch? Okay, not a problem at all. You still have that available to you. You haven't used it. I'm not going to make you check that off as if you used it. You've tried to use it. You weren't able to. And now that you have, you understand there's something preventing you from using your spells. How far that anti-magic field extends, you're not quite sure. I guess it's just trial and error to figure it out. Or, I'll tell you what, roll an Arcana check, and you might be able to get a better understanding of what we're dealing with.
15.
15 is good enough. You actually take a moment while this is kicking off to center yourself and try and be at one with the weave of magic, and you get the feeling that it is centered somewhere not far from where you are, and probably doesn't extend too far. Alright, so maybe 60-ish feet, something like that, tops. It's not particularly pervasive, but you also understand that magic is not going to work in this field. Is there anything else that you wanted to do?
No, that's it.
That's it? Alright. Thrash, you've already used your action to make this attack. She's blocked it and grabbed your wrist. What do you do?
So I've already used my action for
That's
the
correct.
thing.
So I counted as like a prepared action, so it went off at the beginning of the
Yeah,
round.
fair enough.
Yep.
I guess she leans in and she goes, I did give you to 3, and like she would just say like, I gave you till 3, and then I guess she would try again to move, but nothing would really happen, I guess, because she's chained. There's not really much I can do, I guess, except attempt to rile her up a bit.
Yeah, you can certainly try and intimidate her. Are you trying to get a reaction out of her of some sort, or are you just poking the wasp nest here?
I guess she's an assassin, so she'd know battle strategy. Looking around, she can sort of see Sarathal going at it with one of the drows, and she can sort of see the wizard doing their thing, and she's like, okay, I've got to distract this person, so she's going to roll an intimidation, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
And just really try and piss her off.
All right, let's see how successful you are. I'll make it a
15.
intimidation versus a what shall we say? Wisdom, charisma. Let's go with wisdom. See how we. Just gonna roll. Oh, very very slowly. Bear with me for 3 to 4 hours while this dice slowly rolls across the table. There we go. Very good. So what do you say to her exactly? You say that you gave it
So,
to her.
Yeah. And she'd probably add a profanity on the end.
So you whisper this into her ear, and her face remains completely stoic, unreadable. No reaction whatsoever.
Awesome.
Next up is going to be another drow. They are going to also hold their action. Well, prepare an action, I should say. Another one. And then we got this one here. Also, he's going to prepare. As you look, the drow are all just standing there, eyeing you off, eyeing her off, just going back and forth like a game of tennis, seeing what's going to happen here. And then we have another drow's turn. Wait, where did I put her in the initiative order? Oh, I didn't add her to it. That's the problem. All right, I'm just going to put
Oh,
her.
great.
Let's just.
There's more.
So that was the issue. She's not in the initiative order. No, there she is. She's right down the end. Awesome. Okay, next up, another drow. Some of you might know as Sarathel Duskrin.
Oh, wow. Man, we must have gotten a lot of low numbers. Because I rolled a
Pick
4.
a spot.
All right, so do I know which of the drow have been holding You know, like looking like they're getting ready to do something and just watching, as
All of them.
opposed to all of them.
All of them.
Right. Right. Great.
Let's put Lady Athera back in the cell, by the way.
Right. So from where I am, how difficult would it be to actually get that knife out and try and go for the throat of this one that's closest to me?
It would definitely not be difficult. You could do that quite easily.
All right, let's do that.
You're going to draw the knife. Draw the knife. Free action. Action.
Yep.
Make an attack.
Okay.
Okay.
Find my sheet
All
thingy.
right. Very good.
Where's things? Over here. Actions.
Things are kicking off early.
Dagger.
Guys. I wasn't expecting.
Going to hit.
I was expecting to dedicate to at least episode 2. All right.
Oh, natural 19. So that's a 25 to hit.
25 to hit, yeah. I mean, this guy is distracted somewhat, looking back and forth between Thrash and this priestess, as it would appear. You have an
Yep.
opening. You take the attack. You go in with your knife, and you find a soft spot in the armor. Do some damage.
Excellent. All right. What have we got? Oops, wrong button. 8 max damage. 4 plus 4.
Something up, so 8 points of damage.
Yeah, I'm a strong half drow.
I'm going to pull out a book because this thing is going way too slow. And it doesn't appear. No. Okay, great. Never mind that. So 8 points of damage. Good stuff.
Yep.
All right. So describe what you do in violent detail.
So I'm just gonna sort of like, so I'm cuffed as well, yeah.
Yes, you are.
Am I shackled? Yeah. So I'm just gonna
Sorry,
like.
I should have said, yeah. You probably have to make that with disadvantage, that attack, since you're shackled. I apologise about that.
All right, hang on. Let me roll the thing again.
Not many D&D characters start in shackles,
11.
though, so
11. Yes. So unfortunately, that is. Do you still want to make the attack? I didn't tell you that you had to roll that with disadvantage.
Yeah, look, I would have done it anyway.
You would have done it anyway. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, unfortunately, you reach in to pull the knife free, but your the shackles around your wrists clang loudly. Why am I Drow and Thrash moving around all over the place? Who's
I
moving
don't
them?
know.
I don't know.
Put them back. All right. The shackles like clang loudly, and the Drow turns to you, and as you go to stab him with the dagger, he draws his sword, and with his elbow he sort of pushes the chain up, pushing your wrist above your head, and that will kick off all of those held actions.
Oh no.
So yeah, okay. I'm gonna roll some d20s. Let's find out how many hit you. What's your armor class at the moment, by the way?
10.
A 10. All right.
Oh
I got no dex, man. I'm all about heavy armor.
I am so sorry, everyone.
So we have one miss,
Glad I rolled that backup character.
another miss. That's 2. That's a hit. That's gonna do. Ooh, how much damage does it do? And I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw for me.
Oh no. Alright, let me just find that. Yeah, I'm not even proficient, but +3. Oh, 21.
21 is a pass, so that's good.
Alright, and then how much
so
damage?
You take 6 points of damage from that one.
Ow.
That was the third one. Now the fourth one, and then we get into the real fun stuff. That's another hit for 7 points of piercing damage.
I'm unconscious.
And you drop, and I'm going to need you to make another Constitution saving throw. It
10.
doesn't really make too much of a difference. 10 is so you fall unconscious, and also you are poisoned, so you can add that to your character sheet.
All right. How do I do that?
You can actually just do
Oh,
it.
conditions.
Yeah,
Found
there you
it.
go. Found
So
it.
good.
Awesome.
Yep.
So yeah, you fall unconscious and you have the poison condition. Sorry about that.
Great.
Well done, sir.
As 4 crossbow bolts come streaking across the cell, a couple of them clang off the wall as you're struggling with this drow, with this flint knife that you have. You're like wrestling with each other, and then 2 crossbow bolts find purchase on you. Frank, Frank, and you see Serathil Duskrin just crumple down to the ground, and the splint dagger goes clattering across the stone. The drow quickly bends over, picking it up, and then it's everyone's favourite priestess's turn, and she is going to do some fun
Here
stuff.
we go. Regrets. So many regrets.
Hey, you did give it 3 seconds. So,
Yeah, I mean,
to be fair,
Yes, that does seem
I've
like
never
a very,
played a barbarian.
that does seem like a very fair thing
Yep.
to do with your prison wardens. I'm going to give you 3 seconds to leave me alone, prison warden. Yeah, sure. I'll get
Well, that's
out of here.
how long her patience is.
Oh dear.
I don't know,
Now
this is the most barbarian thing I thought I could do. So,
So barbarian. Now I understand why your name is Crash the Troublesome.
She brings this rod down on you twice. Let's have a look. I'm sure this is going to hit. What's your AC? Your AC will actually be pretty good. 15?
yeah.
Oh, it was on an 8, rolled over to a 16. So it's going to be a 21, which is going to be a hit.
Okay. I thought that was 21 damage. I nearly died.
oh,
no,
it's still on the job. Don't you worry.
that's still coming.
Literally and metaphorically.
Damage is still coming. Alright, so what do we got? Not too bad. Not too bad. 3 points of piercing damage. Yeah, you can.
Oh, I'm resistant. I'm resistant.
Oh, because you're
'cause
raging,
I'm
of course.
raging.
But are you resistant to poison damage?
No. And my constitution is not.
Is this from
good.
a magical weapon? This poison damage?
No, this is a mundane poison. Same poison, same drow poison that the rest of them use for their weapons. This is not the actual effect of the rod that she's using. She's like hitting with the pointed end of a rod, as opposed to the tentacly side, if that makes sense. So she brings that down on you, and I'm gonna roll 5d6. Oh shit! I probably shouldn't have pressed that on. Probably should have used something.
Excuse me. Sorry, you're gonna have to say that in my good ear.
5d6.
Yeah, we're going to roll 5d6 of mundane poison damage for a total of 21 points of damage.
TPK
Are you
session 1?
resistant to that while you're raging?
To what?
You're angry
To
now?
21 poison.
Oh my god! Well, it was nice knowing all of you. I was actually gonna get a sweater commissioned with little thrash ears. I'm really glad I held off on.
So it's a good news, bad news situation here. Good news is you're not dead. Bad news is you are unconscious and dying at this point. Not dead. Even worse news is she has another attack if she wanted to take another attack.
Oh.
Stop! She can see I'm down.
So yeah, she catches your wrist. You whisper in her ear. Her face remains completely impassive, in charge, just unfazed by anything that you can say or do. And at the last moment, she brings that rod down on you, so hard it almost fucking blows you to pieces with poison damage. But you fall unconscious. That's the last thing that you can remember. And
Did
yes.
did that damage take her from like negative half her max hit points?
I decided not to use
That's a lot of
massive
damage.
rules just for this particular reason. I didn't want someone to die in the very first episode. So she brings the rod down on you. The last thing that you can remember is actually seeing her yank that medallion off your neck as she brings the rod down.
Oh, them be fighting words.
Oh,
When she's
insult
back
to
up.
injury. I'm sorry.
I'm coming for her big time. For the record, though, I was gonna disengage, just for the record. Like
Could have told me that before I
was
tried
gonna
to stab the guy that got me shot.
Well, you were after me in the initiative. That dem be the rules, my dude.
So you guys see this happen. Are we gonna stay in initiative? You guys want to keep fighting, or?
Any other takers?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. You see Sarathel fall. Shortly after, you see Thrash the Troublesome fall as you bring the rod down on her. She crumples down to the ground, and pulls the necklace off of her. You see the Drow all looking around, making sure no one else is gonna try and make any moves, and the woman points to Sarathel and says, "See to him. We can't have our slaves dying before the contingent from Menza Berenzan arrives. As for her, take her. I have something special planned for this one."
Awesome. Great.
Why is there 3 elite warriors here? I've added one that's not supposed to be here. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And a couple of the Drow step forwards and start picking up Thrash as this woman turns to leave. Does anyone want to do anything?
Where's the guy with the keys?
That would be this gentleman right here. So we've gone out of initiative order. Did you see him flash?
No.
No? Okay. There we go again. So basically he's just right next to this Drow priestess, right in the middle of this, how far is it? 5, 10, 30, 35 foot wide cell, so not far from you, maybe 15 feet away at most.
I'm just going to track him and see where he puts the keys on his body, and then when he leaves the cell, which direction he heads in.
Yeah, okay, so these Drow pick up the unconscious form of Thrash and start taking her away. The one of the Drow elite warriors, the one with the scars, the one that's carrying the keys, accompanies this priestess and the Drow as they leave the cell, and the other one stays behind momentarily, actually administering a health potion to the unconscious Sarathel as he lies there on the ground. And after a moment, he stands up, eyeing all of you as he does so. He flicks that flint knife up into the air and catches it deftly before giving you all a wry half smile as he backs his way out of the cage. And when he does so, the other one locks the padlock back on the cage door and hangs it on his belt, which is where he usually has it. And they exit with Thrash the Troublesome. And
How much health did I get out of that health potion?
so with a health potion being administered to you while you're unconscious, you'll get 1 hit point back, but you will be conscious again, I believe.
Yay, and not having to make death
Not
saves.
having to make death saving throws. Yes, and they all leave the cell. A good start. I enjoyed that.
Well, that went well.
Oops.
All right. Then.
Well, at least nobody died.
I'm just gonna help pick up the Drow dead dude that just got walloped full of arrows, and be like, "You lost our bloody knife, you Wally," and like dust him off, and then like push him back a bit.
So, yep, I'm just gonna. All right, so is that you over there? So I'm just gonna lean against the wall, sort of slide down, just like sit on the ground, leaning against the wall, just like, oh dear.
Right. Hadrian, now would be a good time. I'm guessing. I'll leave it up to you, man. You take the reins.
Well, I was going to say, because Pepito's near the action here, so there's a gnome. I don't know if you can see that walking. Can you see him walking?
Yep.
So a male, he's a Darrow, so undercommon. Male Darrow, very dishevelled looking, very long hair, long white beard, almost white eyes. He kind of looks batshit crazy. You've probably heard the guards call him Pepito, or he calls that himself. He does talk to himself a fair bit, and he talks to everyone. So he comes over to Sareth. What was your name? Sorry, Sarah.
Yeah, Sarathel or Sareth for short, so either's fine.
So, you're pretty good with the knife, sir, but your timing is not so good, right? You probably should have waited for a more advantageous time.
Yeah, tell me about it. I just didn't want Thrash getting herself stomped on.
Well, we can all band together. Maybe perhaps we can think of another plan, another better plan. And your friend here has come over. Who was the other one again? Sorry, the.
Which one?
Oh, didn't someone else come up and help pick up?
Oh yeah, that was me.
Oh, late. Yes, of course.
I just kind of like picked him
Yeah.
up, dusted him off, and then just like kind of stepped away from him.
Did I try and detect you try and do a little bit of magic there?
I don't think anyone would have been able to tell, right? It's a trait internal.
Yeah,
So I would
that's
have just
not
like.
something that required verbal or semantic opponents. So no, that would.
Oh no, it's just the thing. So no thing. Yeah. All right. Well, he would. I want to try and get out of here. We need to formulate a plan. Perhaps we can talk to some of your other friends, some of the other people here, and we can try and get out. No.
I think that's a good idea.
If you're asking me, perhaps we can talk to the big guy. And he points over to the big hulking Quagga. Like, if he was on your side in that battle, maybe a little bit better, maybe not so much because of the priestess lady. She scares me.
Yeah, I'm not fond either. Yeah, talking to him's maybe a good idea, and sort of look over to Perseus and sort of like motion him to come over if I can catch his attention.
Yeah, I was just doing the classic prison lean on the bars of the arms through the bars, just watching them leave and kind of tracking where they're going. But because it's such shit light in here, I was pretty quick. So
yeah, you would have seen the general direction that they went. They went straight ahead across the rope bridge over the edge.
I was just leaning with the.
So I think we need a better plan and some help from these guys.
Does old mate still have bolts in him? Crossbow bolts?
Ooh.
Good thinking.
Because if so, I'm plucking them out of him, like just straight. Like if he's talking to someone, just straight behind his back, like thank you. Straight out of his.
I've got two in me, and there's probably a couple on the ground near where I was standing before from where they missed.
Some missed, didn't they? Yeah.
I did not mention that anyone picked up those crossbow bolts.
Or took the ones out of me.
That they would not want to leave the crossbow bolts in there with you guys. Let's someone roll a d6 for me. And let's just say on a...
1.
All right. There is,
Jesus.
I was going to say on a 3, 4, 5, there will be a crossbow bolt left over. That's what I was going to say. You
Yeah.
rolled a little bit prematurely. So it's going to be...
See, I thought you were going to like say that's how many crossbow bolts were left behind.
Well, only
But he
4
rolled a
crossbow
1,
bolts,
so this one.
Yeah, they only shot 4.
I was just trying to house rule that real quick, but it wouldn't make sense for the Drow to leave crossbow bolts behind.
What about the heads in him? Is his wound still there? Can I try to fish one out of him?
You know what? I'm gonna allow it.
That's
I'm gonna allow it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you. You can do a let's say a medicine check to see if you can pull this crossbow bolt, like the tip of the crossbow bolt out of him that may still be embedded inside of him. However,
So,
fail
Soldier
the
Man,
check-
dear, can you come give me a hand, please?
fail the check significantly enough, and I will add a complication.
I just need you to hold the
careful.
wound open 2 centimeters to the left as I attempt to remove the head.
Have you dealt much with battle wounds before?
I've read a lot about it.
Hey, wait a minute.
Alright, how
Not
about
red.
I read about
Trust
this
me,
in the book.
darling.
Trust me.
how
Hey,
about
wait,
you?
wait a minute. Okay, just before we do this, anti-magic.
No, hold
or-
still. Hold still. Hold
No,
still.
just
It
wait,
won't-
hold.
it won't hurt me.
just wait. I'm just going to attempt to heal myself for 1 HP with lay on hands.
I will say, unfortunately, that's not going to function. The
Not
same
working
thing as
either?
before.
There are some powerful wards blocking all magic.
I actually have
Well,
some. I have some. I have some
isn't
healing
bad.
on me. I have some healing on me, and I'll put the rope in his mouth. Be like, just hold that really tight, and then actually, I've done something similar before. So if you want to hold the wound open, Miss, and I'll try and get it out.
Lady, thank you. Can do. And I'll help him hold the wound open.
All right, I'm going to bite down on the rope. It's silk rope, so it's probably not going to do much.
The dwarven woman, everyone's sort of standing around except for the orc. The orc, after the combat came to a close, just backed up against the cave wall and slid down. He's just like sitting there, looking beaten. Everyone else is sort of gathered around to watch what is going on, and the dwarven woman makes her way from the back of the crowd now and takes a step forward, offering to assist. Hadrian, what does that sound like?
I'm Elder Feldrin. What can I do here? I've had a bit of experience in battles and such. What's his problem?
I'll turn to Lady and just kind of look at her.
I want the head out of his body. The bolt head, the crossbow head.
Well, that's actually not a bad idea. Are we trying to re-secure the poison from the tip of the bolt or something?
Sure, no, but it will help.
All right. Well, you just need to secure the body here. I'll get you to place your hands up here and down there. So you're going to help me here.
Yes.
And I'm going to need to...
I'm happy to take the lead. I used to do a little bit of battlefield medicine.
What I'm going to say is make this. Who's going to make the roll? Is Lady Athera going to make this check, or?
What's your medicine, Toby?
Mine's a +6.
+6.
So
I reckon if you're pretty confident and you've said that, we'll just be like, well, how can we help you then?
who's taking the lead with the check?
I'll take the lead with the check.
Yeah.
I'll just tell them what to do.
You can make
get
that with advantage with the assistance of the people that are around.
Yeah, so we'll be helping hold the wound, keep pressure on around the outsides, and
as I just on the end of my fingers to get a little bit of a lube on there to just.
Oh, there's plenty of lube. There's still a bit.
Yeah.
There's still blood inside of him. He hasn't been sanguinated
Just yet.
yet. Oh, whoops. Sorry.
Hey, lucky. So with the 15, it's 21 total.
21.
Ooh.
That is enough. You're able to definitely pull out the head of a crossbow bolt, and you now have that. I would say there's. I believe the poison is a single acting poison. Um, it's been used, but you now have a potentially a makeshift weapon available to you. And you don't get the complication, which I had planned. Should you fail the check by enough, that's the way I like to do things, guys. I'm quite happy to allow you guys to do these checks, but if you fail it by too much, I like to add a complication. If you get very close, I'll allow you to succeed, but there might still be a complication. Um, if you succeed, obviously you just succeed without a complication. If you do particularly well, then I give you a little bit extra. So you rolled a 21. It's pretty good. I'm going to say with a 21, you managed to retrieve the crossbow, like the head of the crossbow. What else? What else can I give you with that? It's a bit hard. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna bank that one, and when a situation arises, I might give you a little bonus to something there.
Banked bonus. I'll have that in my notes here.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, you know what? I'll tell you what. Not only do you find the head of the crossbow bolt, and you manage to retrieve it from his body, you also actually find hidden amongst the strands from where Duskrin had his back up against the wall. You find like a wooden shaft, like an older crossbow bolt which has been stuck to the wall by some spider web for quite some time. No one's noticed that. So you have that as well. So you now have a strand of spider silk, which you had earlier. You still got that. You have a small wooden shaft, and you have the head of a crossbow bolt. Hey.
I'll turn to the lady and give her the shaft and the head of the crossbow bolt.
Be right back, darlings. I'm going to go to the front door of the cage. Is there any guards monitoring it on the outside?
Roll a perception check for me. Have a look around.
Just putting pressure on the wound of Seraphal's back too, just like pushing pressure on the wound and just
19.
19.
Thank
Good.
you.
I'm actually going to reveal a little bit for you with a 19. Once I close that down, get that out of the way, reveal polygon. Reveal just a little bit more of what you can see. So with a 19, you can see outside of the cage, maybe there. You don't see anyone watching the gate from where you are.
Okay. I'm gonna put my hands just out the door, using the base of the shaft of the thing, put it in the bottom of it, and using the top of the bolt, attempt to pick the lock of the
Alrighty.
of the cage.
Let me just have a quick look. It's written here.
I was looking for it as
You
well.
found it?
No, I'm like, this will be coming. Shit, where they put it?
There we go. No.
I can't see any more of the map. Oh no, I can now.
I believe it's just going to be a sleight of hand check. So what are we using to pick the lock here? Is it a piece of woods, like the shaft?
So a wood part on the bottom to hold the lock taut, and then the top pointy bit to jiggy the tumblers.
I am going to allow you to make a sleight of hand check with I'm going to say disadvantage, just because these aren't like lock picking tools. Does that seem fair? And if you want to
Yeah.
use your inspiration to make it a flat check, I will allow it.
Nah. I'll just roll disadvantage.
Keeping in mind, of course, should you fail it significantly, there could be a complication. Should you succeed,
2.
It's the inspiration.
Oh, this party today.
let me just have a quick look.
I give up.
Let me just make sure I've ruled that correctly. I'm pretty sure it's written here how it should work with no, it doesn't really say. Okay, but a 2, you rolled a 2, is that correct? Okay, I'm going to say that it was unsuccessful in picking the lock, and as a complication, I am going to say the head of the crossbow bolt gets jammed in the lock there. You still have the shaft, but the head of the crossbow bolt is now jammed inside of the lock. Does that sound fair? Does that sound like a...
Yeah, it's a stick in a very big lock.
it's quite a large iron lock, and
You never know, but not, with a 2, not quite. No,
So-
it's in the lock.
It could be that someone notices the head of a crossbow bolt sticking out of this padlock.
Oh, dear.
I'm going to look at Perseus and be like, excuse me, strong soldier, can I grab your assistance? And I'm going to pass him the stick. I'm going to cup my hands around the arrowhead, try to flick it out.
Okay.
What?
What?
You want me to?
So, I have gotten the head stuck in the lock. I'm going to
Is it
hold my
silly?
hands over the head of the arrow so that when you flick it out, it goes into my hands. I need you to, with your strength using the arrow shaft, put it in there and try to flick it out.
Okay, so you have something stuck in there. So you want me to shove something in there to then try?
It's a big
unstuck
lock,
it?
so go like from the bottom and try to flick it out.
Cool. All right. Yeah.
All right.
Sure thing.
Yeah. Roll.
In for a
a-
penny, in for a pound.
Here we go.
Roll strength, just straight up strength.
It's just a straight strength roll.
An argument could be
Yeah,
made
pretty
for
st-
sleight of hand, I suppose. But I think strength is the way to go.
let's burn that inspiration because I don't like that 2 at all. So I'll re-roll.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah, for a 6. Why not? A 10 total.
A 10.
that's not any better.
All right. With a 10, I'm going to say there's no complication. You're unable to pry it loose at this point. So your first attempt at doing this seems to be unsuccessful. It seems to be jammed in there quite well. Maybe one of the pins is locked up against like the tip of the bolt head, if that's what you want to call it. But you're unable to pry it out.
I'll just. Yeah. I don't know how to. I've never actually picked a lock before, so I'm not really sure the technique.
Actually, there is potentially one saving grace here. Could this have been done in manacles? The lock picking and
they
stuff?
could point their arms out and reach.
Yeah.
I already gave them disadvantage, so
Listen,
I'll
it's like a
tell you
conversation between
exactly.
them
I can
both
tell you
ways,
exactly
but
how
they
you pick
come
a
in.
lock. So the way you pick a lock is you're gonna have 2 items. One of them you're gonna insert into the lock, and you're gonna try and turn it, and you're gonna hold it there. The other one is a pick, which you put over the top of it, and you push the pins up until they reach their pivot point, and the pressure that you're using to hold the barrel holds the pins in place. Once you get them all up, you have to like listen and feel for a click when they go in the right spot. You rake it back, and that should unlock the lock.
How do we have anything stronger than than just an arrowhead shaft? Do we have something like a bit more beefy than that? Because we can try and So it's like imagine it's like a lock, like a padlock. We can like stick a bar in the middle of where the padlock arches, and then use that as like a fulcrum point, and then wrap our manacled hands, like guessing like sort of chained to the middle. We could use that to then pull up to then kind of like get that fulcrum point to try and snap the lock. But we need something stronger than just the shaft of the bolt.
Is there any like bones on the ground?
No. I gave you that. That shaft earlier, but most of the cave has been pretty well scoured at this point by the various slaves that have been in here. I'm going to say there's nothing more really to be gained from inside of the cell. However, we are going to swap scenes for just a moment.
Oh, what is Thrash up to, I wonder?
The untimely demise of a character we knew for what, like 4 hours?
Well, actually, we don't need to necessarily change scenes for this. We can do a theatre of the mind. As
Why not?
Thrash, you awaken in a chamber, like a round chamber with like a big rug decorated with spiders' webs. In the center of this chamber stands an altar, upon which is a large spider. And for a second, like your heart catches in your throat because you think it's a real spider. But after a second of like looking, you realize that it's not real. It's just part of the altar. You're shackled to the wall with your wrists up above your head, and there is a young woman kneeling in front of this altar. Not the same one that dropped you earlier, a different one, a younger looking drow woman. And as you start to come to a trap door in the floor, besides where you're restrained, flies open, and the priestess whom you had a little bit of a scuffle with earlier climbs up a rope ladder up through this trap door. She makes her way over towards you, and this whole scene is cast in an eerie, like purplish teal sort of color from more of these fungal lanterns suspended from the ceiling of the chamber with like these spider webs. You can't tell if they're real or not, but there's like these lanterns hanging from it, casting the whole scene in an eerie, otherworldly sort of glow. And she stands in front of you, drawing that rod from her hip again. And as she brings the heads of the rods up towards you, like the tentacles suddenly start coming to life, and they're like writhing up your chest and up your face. And they're like whipping up against you, and like just every time one of the tentacles like whips, it draws blood and it draws more blood, and like hitting you, and you fall unconscious again. And after a while, you're revived, and you see this priestess standing in front of you, and she says, "Oh no, I'm not done with you just yet. You're not allowed to die." And she brings that rod back up to you again. Do you do anything? How does Thrash respond to this?
Look, as I say sometimes, she's dumb, but she's not an idiot. Like, she's got to this point. She knows talking back's not going to do jack. So she's just biding her time. Like, obviously, they healed her. so she knows they're not gonna like they've got something planned for her. And as an assassin, I'm sure she would have endured lots of torture. So she's just, you know, not gonna give them the satisfaction of giving in so soon, I guess.
I'll tell you what. I'll allow you to roll a Constitution saving throw or a Constitution check. See how you how well you can manage under this.
2, so not very well.
So we you guys in the cell, you sort of settle down after all this excitement. You guys can hear somewhere further in the cavern just the muffled sounds of screaming. As Thrash, you're tortured, knocked unconscious, healed, and only to be tortured again and again. And I think that's going to be a good place to call it a night. What do you reckon, guys?
Lit.
Woohoo!
Sounds great.
Hey, no one died first session.
No one died. They
Yay!
could've, but they didn't.
But they didn't. But they didn't.
Yeah, so I just like to point out, like, if anyone's wondering why Sereth would go and do something so silly, let me just flick over here. If you can see it, check out the wisdom score on my character sheet. I have a wisdom of 6. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so
The
not a
street
particular.
smart.
That's good role play. Yeah.
That's, the thing is, it's like this guy is supposed to be like a guy who travels from town to town, seeking out these ancient evils. You think he'd be a little bit more wise to the world at this point. But
you would think,
no.
but he hasn't been at it very long.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah. He's only like 23, and he's an elf, so he's very young.
Very young. Yeah, I get it. How did everyone feel? I know we had some technical difficulties. I had a lot of trouble with the stream and keeping everything going, but I think that went
we got there.
reasonably well. For a first session, no one died, so there's that.
No, always good.
Yay.
Very fortunate.
Guy.
You know, I had a ball. That was great.
Yeah, that was lots of fun.
I was hoping for it to be a little bit. I wasn't exactly on the ball tonight once everything started to fall apart for me. But no, I had a lot of fun. Thank you guys for joining me. I promise next session's going to go a lot smoother. As I sort out the technical difficulties, we're gonna move back to Discord as our, you know, for our feeds and all that kind of stuff. Hopefully that will speed things up. But yeah, it was just it was crazy. It was good fun.
Yeah.
So thank you for being a part of it.
There's still a lot to go too. So
There's still a lot to go, but this is going to be like a slow campaign. This isn't going to be a quick campaign. I
Cool.
am surprised, if I'm going to be absolutely honest with you, that we actually had combat. Apart from the one which I had
I'm
planned
sorry.
yeah.
earlier on. No, I'm going to say you used your inspiration to make that attack. You get that point of inspiration back. Sarathel, did you use your inspiration as well?
No, I did not.
No, you did not? Oh, okay. Well, unfortunately, you can't
Well,
have another.
I remembered afterwards, and I'm just like, oh, if I'd done that, maybe I could.
To be
No.
entirely
I
honest,
probably still would have.
it wouldn't have done much. It really.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did.
It wouldn't have made too much of a difference. The odds were stacked.
I was still
against
gonna
you.
cop stuff.
Um,
Yeah.
This is-
I've never played like a lot. Sorry.
No, you're right. You go.
I've never played a long haul campaign before, so I really just live like it's a one shot. So I do lots of very stupid things, and then I'm like, oh wait, this is not a one shot. There was a longer plan. Oopsie daisy.
Well, look, I think considering how Thrash is supposed to be, and like, you know, the fact that she's a barbarian, I think, you know, the fact that she's a barbarian, I think, you know, the fact that she's a barbarian, I think, you know, the fact that she's a barbarian, I think, you know, the fact that she's a barbarian, I think, you know, the fact that she's a barbarian, I think, you know, the fact that she's a barbarian, I think, you know, the fact that she's a barbarian, I think, you know, the fact that she's a barbarian, I think, you know, the fact that she's a barbarian, I think, you know, the fact that she's a barbarian, I think, you know, the fact that she's a barbarian, I think, you know, the fact that she's a barbarian, I think, you know, the fact that she's a barbarian, I think, you know, the fact that she's a barbarian, I think, you know, the fact that she's a barbarian, I think, you know, the fact that she's a barbarian, I think, you know, the fact that she's a barbarian, I think, you know, the fact that she's a barbarian, I think, you know, the fact that she's a barbarian, I think, you know, the fact that she's a I think that was probably the way to play it. You know, like,
Yeah, no, you did it right. You played your character the way that your character reacts. You're very you're not like a thoughtful person. You're the type of person who reacts to something, to emotions. And this woman snatching that away from you, you know, that would have triggered emotion in your character. So no, hats off to you for playing your character the way that, you know, that it would go. This like you touched on, this is a long form campaign. It's not your average just go from point A to point B and kill the bad guys campaign. This is going to require creative thinking. And Remy, you didn't use your inspiration either, did you? Nope.
Yeah.
Nah.
Okay, well, you would have gotten a point of inspiration as well. I really enjoyed your attempt at picking the lock. Actually, everyone would get a point of inspiration because the idea of getting that crossbow bolt head out of Seraph of Dust.
Yeah.
Also a really good
mate.
idea.
Yeah, that was a brilliant idea. Yep.
I'm glad you rolled well on that medicine check, Toby.
Yes.
Yeah, that would have sucked.
Oh, come on, Eldith Felgen would have had it in one.
Because yeah, the complication for that was not going to be something that you enjoyed.
I didn't think it would be.
Would you like some
Do you
more?
mind sharing it with us? Or would that be spoiling?
No, I think I'm going to keep that under my hat. Actually, I think I've told you guys enough for tonight. You've heard enough of my voice.
I reckon he would have like nicked something important on the way out, and it would have bled out slowly over the next day or so.
Probably.
Yeah, there would have been a fun complication involved with that. Let's put it that way. But hey, it could still happen. Does everyone like that kind of gameplay? That's something.
Yeah,
that
man, it's great.
experimented with, like
Yeah.
adding complications, because sometimes I don't know if everyone else has experienced this. You'll attempt a check, and it fails, and you just go, okay, I'll do it again. And there's no disadvantage to failing a check.
Yeah,
and
nah.
There's
I
also
think-
nothing, like if you do particularly well with a check either, there's nothing.
I've always been a fan of using, like, you know, whether it's crit or not, but like crit fail, crit success kind of things with checks and even with attacks, you know, like if you roll 1 on an attack, you might fumble your blade kind of thing, you know, like, so doing that with checks still just makes sense, you know, and it gives a bit more dynamic in what you can do with the story and how we can have to, you know, think creatively, like you say, to get around a situation. If we watch a check really bad, we might lose an important piece of kit and now we have to improvise, you know, or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, 'cause
I mean, it can't just be 1 you fall in the hole, 20 you jump over the hole. Like, there has to be something in between.
Yeah, it wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be fair for me to take away everything from you guys, and then not give you some way, like some creative things to do. If you got nothing, you got nothing to work with. So this gives you an opportunity. Like if you attempt something, you could get a benefit, like finding that broken shaft, that broken crossbow shaft. There's a lot of things that you could creatively do with that. You attempt to pick a luck with it. Didn't work
All
out.
the hilarious
So,
fails.
yeah, with some fails. It didn't work out for you guys this time, but that's something.
Can I just meta say something?
Yeah.
I would have went straight for the manacles, eh? I would have went.
Oh,
That's something
I
I
didn't even
haven't
think-
been clear enough with you guys. That's more my fault. I should have explained to you guys a little bit better. I did say that you were manacled, but I forgot to enforce that while you guys were coming up with stuff. So for the next episode, keep me honest. You guys are wearing your manacles. It's going to be difficult to do things. You might need to find a way to break those, or find a way to get out of them.
Yeah.
If you want to continue on, because it's going to be difficult enough as it is getting out of here. Let alone.
I'm getting that flint knife back, hey?
Yeah, that's exactly that's.
I'm getting it back.
But I mean, that's the way Dungeons and Dragons plays out. Like it'll go one way and that's it. That's a cool new story now.
No, but like if he's wearing it on his belt and I see him on our way out of here, I'm getting it back. I'm going to kill him with it, and then I'm going to keep it for the rest of the campaign as a memento.
Is
Yeah.
that
Oh,
how you
God,
think it's
here
going
we
to? Is that how you think it's going to go?
Totally.
I don't know if he would have kept the flint though.
He showed off that he got it and he put it on his belt.
Oh, I thought he just put it away.
Yeah, no, like he went smirked and put it on his belt like he was taunting me. I might have been unconscious when he did that, but if I see it, I'm going to be like, mine.
Yeah, that's it'll be interesting to.
That's right. You're busy dying. Yes, you didn't see that.
To see how that goes. I am trying to find a channel to raid real quick, but for you guys watching on YouTube and listening to it on Spotify, thank you very much. That's going to be the point at which we call it a night, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully we sort out the technical issues for the next stream, and I can bring a little bit better DMing to the table. A bit unhappy with how I handled things tonight. A little bit better towards the end.
Well,
But,
that's what it is. You can't do your internet.
yeah. Yes.
No, you're right. I'll tell you after.
No, you go. I need you to talk. Go.
Oh, it's technical stuff